Welcome back to the Power Chat with Kansas State baseball coach Pete Hughes. I'm Tim Fitzgerald, and we are here in the WTC Gig Powered Studios in downtown Manhattan, and we're sponsored by our friends at Blue Mark Energy. In the first half of the Pete Hughes Power Chat, we talked about his journey to Manhattan, and now he's here, and he's enjoying everything he was promised when he took the job from Gene Taylor. Kansas State's athletic director said new facilities are on their way, and indeed they have arrived. Let's get after it, the second half of the Power Chat with Pete Hughes. Welcome back to the Power Chat with Kansas State baseball coach Pete Hughes, and it is, as we tape this, about 30 degrees out, so nothing says baseball like 30-degree weather. But when this runs, what'll be next week, you'll be in Texas. That's what bothers me about college baseball, is you got to flee your home to go play on the road for a couple weeks.
If you're at Kansas State.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a big advantage if you're the South. You get to play those home games.
Yeah, I think so. But you can spin it any way you want.
Right.
You know, for me, if you want to go to Omaha, you better have a road-tested, road-tough team.
Yep.
So the only way to do that is to get on the road and play well. So we'll do that early. And I have no problem scheduling games here the first couple weekends. It's uncomfortable, I get it, but I just want the consistency of the weather so we can get our guys playing.
Right.
And not worried about getting games postponed or canceled, you know. So now it's a good challenge for us. We're going to get on the road for 10 days. We're going to play a lot of different people, and so your lineup shakes out a little bit, but it's an opportunity to beat someone.
Right. You come home at the end of February to open your home slate, and you've got a very entertaining slate. I like that you scheduled in the non-conference, once you get going with Wichita State, Nebraska, Omaha. You got Missouri. I think you meet them in Texas, but
That's right.
You've been very regional. It's good. I think it's good for ticket sales.
It's good, yeah. You know, but when I put a schedule together, I do like the ticket sales are in mind, but RPI is number one for me because
sure.
our goal is to get in the national tournament and play well in June and go to Omaha here. You know, that's our goal. I'm not going to back away from it, and my schedule will reflect that. And in baseball, you build up a higher RPI by playing on the road. You know, you get more value with a road win than a home win. It's 1.25, and when you get a win at home, it's 0.75. Now, that's easier said than done. You got to go and you got to play well on the road too. So 4 games at Stanford. At Texas Tech, they'll be a top 5 RPI team. You know, at TCU, West Virginia is always a tough place to play, and their RPI is always protected because they travel a lot. You know, so it's there for us scheduling wise, but it'll be a good challenge. But we need to get good on the road and need to be comfortable on the road.
But before I get into the stadium renovations, I want to back up. Now you have the 19 Ways Foundation. Now explain what that means. You wear number 19.
Lost my mom at a young age. Her favorite number was 19.
Interesting.
So that's an easy one. She was a nurse at a nursing home, so she ran this nursing home where usually people end up because no one wants to, and no one are capable of taking care of these people who need help. And that was her job every day. She put smiles on faces and gave relief to people where she was the only source for that to happen. And then she would come home and she would cook dinner and do laundry for the 4 guys that she was living with, you know, my 2 brothers and my dad. So here's the ultimate giver and the woman who did everything for everybody and always had a smile on her face. So, you know, what better way to have a tribute to my mom and her memory to create 19 ways, which gives our guys 19 opportunities to do something in the community to help somebody or some organization out that needs a little help, and it gets our guys out in the community, and that's our clientele, so they better get to know our guys. It shows our guys to be appreciative for everything they have. That there's a little platform for these guys in Manhattan, Kansas, and we don't take it very lightly, and there's this image of Division I athletes walking around entitled these days with name, image, and likeness, but not our guys. Our guys are privileged to be baseball players at Kansas State in this community. They'll never be entitled in my program. So that's what 19 Ways kind of guards against, and you know what? Our guys do something good for someone, they realize they end up feeling pretty good about it, but they take ownership of it.
That's cool. I
don't tell them to do it. It's that sign-up sheet. They do their own deal, and they do a phenomenal job.
That's really, really cool.
Yep.
That gives them something. Baseball coaches, any coaches, should not just coach the sport. I mean, you have to. You're in charge of these guys. You got to leave them as better people, not just better players.
I believe that, and I preach academics because I don't want to babysit academics when they get to the field. I want to go to Omaha. I preach get into the community and be good people because good people are more consistent, and if I get more consistent people, I'm going to get more consistent play. So there's some selfish motive in the background of how I run my program. But I want kids who care about academics, who are good people, and who are really good at baseball. So it's pretty simple formula.
Hold themselves accountable.
Correct.
You mentioned in the first half that the people, Gene Taylor, Casey Scott, that was really important to you. When you were talking to them, what exactly did they say about facilities? Because I'm sure they said we got stuff planned. But that's easy to say.
That's right.
What exactly were they telling you?
Well, I've been down that road before.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the most beautiful artist renderings that I've never got to coach in. They said we know where we are resource-wise, and they asked me what I thought they were in the Big 12 in the region, and we both had the same answer. Gene understands the gap where Kansas State was, but he also understood how to close that gap, and he was invested in it. He said, the money's already raised. We've already done a quarter of that project, and they have with the field, with the dugouts and the bullpens and the outfield wall, everything's beautiful. So they were committed, but to me, a true vision, the difference between Gene is he turns his vision into cranes and bulldozers and construction guys. So that's what I saw. And there's nothing that speaks to its commitment to a word or a vision than that. And it happened quick. And once they told me, hey, we're going to do this, that we're going to get them in the upper third of our league in resources easily. But I don't really care where they are, top half, top third. If I walk a family in with a recruit and they walk into that beautiful building that we have at Toynton right now, they know one thing, that they got an athletic director in a department that really cares about something that my son cares about. They care about baseball at Kansas State. I don't think they could have said that before these enhancements.
Right.
And that's an investment. And when you invest, you care about something. And that's where I want to send my son.
That's good. That's good. What is it? Go through some of the things they've enhanced here with this latest round.
Yeah, we have a players' lounge. It's just a place where guys can do their homework. There's computers. There's an area for that. There's TVs. They can play their Fortnite or their COD or whatever those guys do. They got plenty of space to do it. It's more, team building, and guys like baseball guys like to hang out. And great hangout area. Beautiful fueling station for these guys for pre-workout, post-workout. State of the art, as good as I've seen. Our training room is a big deal in college baseball, really for preventative stuff, and Blaine Burst does an unreal job with our athletes, and he's got a great facility to do that, hot tub, cold tub. No excuses for our guys they can't bounce back with rehab and injury and prevent injury now. It's a great setup. and that's important in recruiting too. And then you go down to the clubhouse, and you're probably the nicest clubhouse and arguably the best in the country. And
I was blown away.
Every detail they got right. You know, we could talk about that being recruiting fluff, but like I said, it speaks volumes of how invested, you know, an athletic department is. And I don't care about all that stuff. I do in recruiting, you know. But a 17 or 18 or 16-year-old kid, it's a big deal, man, you know. And we got something to showcase now. So you walk through that clubhouse, and a great ping pong table, you know, as good as it gets. It's hand-eye competition, right? Walk through there, we got a team meeting room, and it's amphitheater style. We do a lot of our player development stuff there. A lot of video work. We'll meet a ton during the season for, you know, scouting reports, pre-game stuff, and we'll wear that room out. And it's important for me to talk to my team at least once a day, and that's a great place to do it.
Yeah, it's impressive. And a replay board. You got a video board out there now.
The video board, yeah, it's, you know, it was needed, but again, they did it right with that as well. You know, we got a great gift from Mr. Edgerly, and that's a first-class video board at what's becoming a first-class venue to watch college baseball. Our offices are all redone, meeting areas. Be a great place for our staff to recruit and present Kansas State baseball to families when they come to town.
Yeah, it's impressive. And you mentioned recruiting a number of times in there. Baseball recruiting is unlike any other recruiting in college sports because of the draft. I mean, you can recruit guys and they're gone. You didn't get them. How difficult is that to balance? I want really good players, but I want to spend my time on players that are going to play college baseball and not get drafted. It's got to be a really tough balance.
We're going to recruit anyone that can help us go to Omaha.
Right.
Now, if he's a first-round threat, we're going to recruit that kid. And if he goes in the first round, it's going to say committed to Kansas State, but still good for us.
Okay.
But the challenge is the balancing of that 11.7 scholarships when you don't know what's coming in or what's going out of your program. I don't know how many guys in my program are going to get drafted. And if they get drafted, they want to stay. And so the money that I've already spent thinking they're going to get drafted and leave, now they want to come back, you know. Then I have 10 kids in the incoming class coming, and 4 of those guys get drafted. You know, now I have a surplus of money. So I'm always calling parents to front end, back end because of the draft and what it does for you. So, you know, I just get a kick out of the whole, you know, name, image, and likeness deal, right? Come hang out and be a baseball player just for 1 week before you start complaining about getting money for your image, right? Our families are paying 60, 70% out of their pocket just to have the privilege to play a Division I sport.
Right.
You know, it's equivalency sport. And then I got to deal with that, and only 27 can be on scholarship, so I disseminate 11.7, and then I don't know what's coming and going because of the draft.
Right.
You know, so it's challenging. I've had, if everyone showed up on my campus my 4th year at Virginia Tech, if everyone, kids in my program came back, incoming kids didn't get drafted, they showed up, I would have been 5 scholarships over. And our compliance people were going crazy. I said, trust me, it's a heavy draft year, right? The day of the draft, that night, we went from being, 2.5 over to 2.5 under. It was a 5 scholarship swing, you know. It gets tricky, but the toughest part of being a baseball coach is managing an 11.7 and shuffling the money around so your recruiting classes are balanced.
How the heck they get to 11.7?
Softball is 12.
So 0.3 less?
I think because I think it's a Title IX thing, which I'm fine with. But I'm just saying let's just do away with equivalencies and give everyone full scholarships.
Right.
You know, that's the toughest part of my job is negotiating with people. I got to try to get kids at the right price and families at the right price.
Just crazy.
Just to get that 11.7 spread across 27 kids, you know. And then we got 8 kids that got to be really good at baseball that aren't on any money to fill out your roster. It's a challenge, and it hasn't changed in a long time. So I don't have any patience for the issue that's out there today with the name, image, and likeness.
And players, athletes should be getting paid. And
exactly. You're getting paid. They're getting paid.
Yeah.
It's a great degree for nothing.
If there's extra money laying around, let's do 15, 18 scholarships in baseball.
And they already built that in with, well, yes, but then the cost of attendance, getting on top of that. But baseball guys, they don't even know what cost of attendance is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my guys are on 25% with a smile on their face, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough, but I'll tell you what, our kids, they're different kids because they're grinders, you know, because they're not given everything.
True.
So when they get a beautiful building and facility like that, and if someone else, geez, these guys are spoiled, our guys aren't spoiled. You know, they've paid the price to have those facilities they have over there right now.
Adding a layer into the degree of difficulty for a baseball coach is the middle is usually depleted by the draft. Your catcher, your pitcher, your middle infielder, center field. It's hard to find those guys, isn't it? Particularly arms.
That's where you got to build your program, you know, and you're saying it,
yeah,
right? If you're saying it, then we're all recruiting. We all have the same. We know what wins, right? Mm-hmm. Whoever's got the best guy who has the ball in his hand, and we're all going after him. You know, that's why having these great resources and facilities, it just moved us up in the game of getting those guys. You know,
and you feel good about your pitchers this year, don't you?
I do. I think we have enough depth. We didn't have depth last year, you know, so we went out and got some kids via the recruiting and the transfer market, and we got enough arms. You just got to stay healthy. You got 56 games in 3 months. You got to go through we'll carry 18 pitchers, you know.
You can't fake pitching depth.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You know, and if you looked at our season last year, we got exposed a little bit at the end because we kind of wore some guys out,
sure.
And at the end of the season, we just didn't have enough in our bullpen to protect some of our guys, and we get overextended, and guys get tired. You know,
Yeah.
you get exposed in 56 games.
Yeah, it's college baseball is I mean, you almost have to have a math degree to figure out all the moving pieces with scholarships and all that. It's just absolutely amazing to me. Your family, you are a baseball family. 5 kids, 4 sons, 3 play baseball, right?
4 play baseball.
4 play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
What's your youngest? How old is the youngest?
He's a freshman at Manhattan High.
Okay, and he's a baseball player too.
Baseball nut, and you know they've all played that sport by choice. I've always listened to my kids. I've never force-fed them anything, but you grow up in my dugout and you see how great it is to play this game.
Great sport.
It's a lot of lessons learned, good and bad, and they've learned them right along the way. And you know, I'm grateful that they wanted to play a sport, and I'm grateful that they wanted to play for me.
Yeah, I couldn't hit a curve or throw a curve. So that pretty much limited my baseball career. Right
That'll
there.
do it, yeah.
Yeah, I was very thorough about it. I made sure I wasn't going to be playing baseball. Moving to Manhattan with the family, how many of the kids are here?
My oldest son, Thomas, was a grad transfer.
Right.
Played here, was a captain here.
Right. That'd be great.
You know, he was in that clubhouse for 3 months and was unanimously voted captain. That tells you the kind of kid he is.
Mm-hmm.
Just a phenomenal kid, and he's going to make a great coach, and he's going to jump in this crazy profession. He's a volunteer assistant at Morehead State right now, paying his dues with a smile on his face. And my son Hal, my second son, should be the starting shortstop on Friday at LSU. And he's having a great experience there. And
not a bad place to go to school.
No, it's great, and happy for him. He's playing for a great guy, and he's already made lifelong friendships, and that's what it's all about. And you see how great he can get at a sport he loves. You know, my son Dominic's a freshman for me right now here. He was with me in Georgia and stayed his senior year there. He loved it so much and was all state and a very good baseball state. He's a good player.
Interesting. So your first year here, he stayed in Georgia.
He went back for the spring to play his senior season there.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of tricky, though. With Georgia high school state rules, I had to sign over his custody.
Get out.
For him to to be.
You got to give your kid away, basically?
Because they don't want families jumping from school to school in Georgia, you know. So you either have an address. I would have had to buy a place or sign over custody. That was a no-brainer. Sent them to a family that, you know. Yeah, former.
I got extras.
Good friend of ours. Yeah, we got 5 of them. Might as well grab Dom for a half a semester. But yeah, he ended up having a good year there. Great experience for him. Made him more resilient, and it's good to have him back here and being around him every day. My daughter Grace does not play baseball, but she plays guitar and can really sing. She's at the Little Grill every Tuesday night, 6 to 8.
Really?
Every Tuesday night, 6 to 8. Does her own deal. She's more talented than her brothers would ever be in her craft, and they are in theirs. And PJ's, you know, he's with me every day after school at practice with our guys, and he's working at it. So, again, you don't get that, you know, if you don't live and coach in a college town. These kids, they grow up with the 35 guys in your dugouts, and they're around you every single day. Awesome.
This is a great town.
Yep,
great town to raise kids. It's funny you mentioned Little Grill. I was talking to Courtney Messingham earlier. He was talking about all the local places to eat at. And I said, I find myself, people ask me where to go, and I'll start recommending restaurants, and I'll realize I haven't been to this place in a long time, and yet I recommend it, and Little Grill's one of those places. It's like, just it's a little out of the way.
Tuesday night, man, 6 to 8.
Yeah, tell the wife that. Tell the wife that. Always like hearing Kendrick singing out there.
Yeah, he's great. They've been really good to my daughter.
Okay, so we have this thing on our chats we do. It started on a podcast where we ask our users to give us 5 overtime questions. Started as kind of a running joke. They ask us anything. If the moon was made of cheese, would you eat it? That kind of nonsense. So from our users, I have 5 questions for you. You might have touched on this one first. Favorite feature? You're like your personal favorite of that Toynton upgrade.
My office.
Your office, nice.
My office. Now, a fueling station is awesome. My office, they did right. And, you know, that's 90% of my most important work is done in that office.
Spend a lot of time in there.
But that's where I got to get those families to feel comfortable and say yes. So my office.
I like it.
Yep.
Quick, a Boston restaurant recommendation.
Easy one. Cantina Italiana.
Really?
In Boston's North End. And you got to get the Lobster Bombolati. Bombolati is a specific pasta just to that restaurant. It's honeycomb.
Interesting.
Get it spicy, and then you go over to Mike's Pastry, and you get your dessert over there. And if you're the cigar shop down the corner, you can go smoke a cigar.
I'm only going to this place if it's an authentic former mafia place.
I wouldn't say it too loud. I mean, you think you're safe in this Manhattan, but yeah, I'd probably keep that pretty low when you're heading down there.
You know, there were so many places in Kansas City that great Italian places.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm having trouble finding a nice Italian place here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Manhattan. Yeah, it's a struggle. Yeah. Kansas City still got some good ones, but their old the River Market area, which has now been totally changed, and that was the Italian mafia. You know,
that's the place.
Yeah.
We need to go there. The best Italian restaurant in Manhattan, Kansas right now is at my house.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Yeah.
That's one of my complaints is I wish Manhattan had a family-owned Italian place.
Yeah, we missed that.
Yeah. But it's got to be good. You can't just be throwing things together. Well, let me ask you this. This is for my...
Coming from the Irishman.
Yeah. Oh, I love Italian. For my buddy Zach here, who doesn't like lasagna. Do you like lasagna?
Zach, if you ate my wife's lasagna, you would say, I love your wife's lasagna. Just to be polite, but you'd love my wife's lasagna. It's a meat lasagna, and you can eat it for days afterwards.
There goes Zach. Real man like lasagna. What was back up here. Manhattan restaurant recommendation.
You know what? We loved the Blue Stem right across from campus.
Yeah, that's good.
Love that place. Sunday brunch there is great. And
I've not done that yet.
We love going to, I like Taco Lucha. I love that place. And, you know, we got to get it at the right time. And, you know, we love going out to the Little Grill. It's smoked chicken's delicious.
It is. You know? We did 80 minutes at Taco Lucha on Friday night or Saturday night for a table.
Is that right?
80 minutes. We're like, why? I mean, we're like 4th on the list. They had a table of 12 in front of us. It was like, oh.
Yeah, you got to go at the right time.
Who does it? But good people, so it was easy. What was the destination of the best Hughes family vacation?
Cuba.
You went to Cuba?
We did. We went
That's on my bucket list.
maybe 4 years ago, right? 3 years ago. We went to Cuba for 10 days. We spent 5 right in Havana and then 5 on the coast. I mean, the greatest place, the nicest people we've ever come across. The safest place. You know, there's zero crime, there's zero drug. We were walking the streets of downtown Havana as a family at 1 a.m. coming back from a restaurant, and never once threatened for a second. You know?
Nice.
It's the old cars.
It's amazing.
Just everything is just, it's
Kind of a time
beautiful.
capsule.
It's pristine too, you know. And but again, man, it was the people. It was. I don't like cigars, but if you did, it was probably the honey hole for you.
I'm not
that
a
and
smoker.
rum, you know. Yeah. But we went there and we played baseball with the locals, and
Awesome.
yeah, we had a blast. It was a great experience for my kids.
That is. That's amazing. That is on my list of places to go. I kind of wanted to open up a little more. And,
You know, it was.
yeah, it's got to close back down.
Just get slowed down a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay, here's a long one. I'm assuming that the College World Series is your favorite annual event in Omaha, Nebraska. That was a leap of faith right there. But which of these other Omaha events would you be most likely to attend?
All right.
I've been on the Omaha Visitors website. The Sand in the City, where they bring in sand artists. Jazz on the Green, which I assume is jazz. Or the Omaha Fashion Week. These are big events in Omaha.
That's all the choices you're
That's all.
going to give me, huh?
Seriously, these were the best choices outside of baseball.
Hey, Omaha's famous for steaks too. You know what I'm talking about?
That's
The hot dog eating
kind of-
contest, the steak eating.
They're fake. steaks.
I'd go with the Sandcastle building. You know,
That's
it's,
I thought that was interesting.
I
How
think
did that
so.
end up in Omaha? Wouldn't you?
yeah,
want
got to be on
near
the coast.
beach?
wouldn't it? Yeah, that kind of piqued my interest because of that. Yeah.
It's kind of like playing baseball in north of the Mason-Dixon. Coach, I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Been a lot of fun. Get
Appreciate
out
it.
to Poynton Stadium this season. We'll go watch your Wildcats play a little baseball. Talk to you later.